Yeah, it's a very good question. It's increasingly crowded in Africa, not just with traditional donors such as Europe and the United States, but now also, as we know, China for some time has been really increasing its investment. Countries such as Turkey, Russia, the Gulf states, Iran, Malaysia, India, so it's getting very crowded. And I think the challenge will be for African countries themselves to balance the competing interests and agendas of all of these foreign powers to make sure that those countries aren't being manipulated. At the same time, I think the European countries need to make sure that they're not being played off one off another by the countries. So it's incredibly it's a complicated situation. I think we need a better understanding as well of who is doing what and how much they're spending, what they're spending it on, and how effective that assistance is. I'm not sure an African voice exists. There are many African voices, and certainly it's an incredibly complicated, rich continent, and it differs by region and by country and within countries. And so really it's, and the voices, plural, are emerging. And I think we're hearing from more women and civil society organizations. So I think the picture is getting richer, is what I would say. So I would say the challenge is going to be for multilateral institutions to really try to have an impact, whether that's World Bank or the United Nations or the European Union or even NATO in the security area in some places. I think some of our traditional institutions, such as the UN and the World Bank, really need to reflect on what they're doing and how to become more impactful. I think the UN in particular really has stepped back, and it's not entirely clear to me why. It's just not really being heard as much. People aren't talking about the UN as a major player, whether it's on the peacekeeping side or refugee side or even on the economic side. And I think the UN needs to assert itself more because it is a legitimate player and really can carry the credibility that individual countries don't carry.